Well, thank you for talking with me today.
Of course,
Uh,
happy.
to get started, was Tyler's story always intended to involve into him working on the team, or was that something you found out along the way?
That's a great question. No, I was originally recurring
Mhm.
on the show, and it's really nice when you join a show and it just kind of fits. And that was definitely my sense, and obviously their sense as well. And the cast and I got along great, and the writers are wonderful people, so it just felt like a really, really natural fit. And I was very, very fortunate that they decided to make me a series regular, and then it's grown into being a member of the team, which was a dream.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of that, so in episode two, Tyler has like kind of a strong moment of self-doubt. Does Tyler feel like he's part of the BAU now, or is that something he's still struggling with?
I think Tyler has the grit that matches the team. I think he's been through a lot in his life, so he's developed a lot of kind of tenacity and grit and things like that. But what he doesn't have is the experience that matches this team. And so a lot of season 18 is about him learning on the job.
Mhm.
They were going to send him away to train him in Mobile,
Mhm.
as we saw never deal with that
Mhm.
personally. Someone who doesn't like to fail and has failed a lot in the past, and had that affect him psychologically in the past. So he's contending with a lot. The writers have given me a lot of
Oh, yeah.
to work with.
Um, so also in that same episode, you get your first like FBI yell. What was filming
Yeah.
like?
You know what? That was awesome. It was Aisha directed the episode, who I'm a huge fan of, and is just one of the loveliest people I've ever met. So um, yeah, getting there, getting to the unsubbed layer first, and then having orchestrating the whole scene where I hop out of the SUV, and then SWAT's there with me, and then we bust down the door. It was that was a really, really, really fun night, and to get to yell FBI for the first time as part of this team was, I think for all the fans of the show, which includes me, that's such like an iconic thing to be able to do on this show, and um, yeah, it meant a lot. It's great.
What was working with Aisha like as a director?
Aisha is a wonderful director. This is my third time now, I believe, working with her as a director, and she's just so sharp. I mean, for anyone who's ever spoken to Aisha, she has endless energy and endless ideas and endless knowledge. So those those three things paired together make for a very, very effective, creative, wonderful director. And of course, she's an actor first, so she knows how to talk to actors and get exactly what she wants. So it's I mean, honestly, everyone in the cast is
Mhm.
is pretty special,
Oh,
as you know, having interviewed. So it's just a great group. It's
oh
really
yeah. Well, many of your castmates have also taken on directing in the Evolution era. Is that something you've ever considered doing or?
Yeah, you know what? I'm in a position right now where I'm shadowing a director in order to learn and kind of see all the things. When you start out as an actor, you're very experienced with the things that happen on set, but of course, for a director, there's so much that goes into prep, and it's so all consuming in the weeks leading up to it, the week or weeks leading up to your episode. So I was really interested in getting my hands kind of into that.
Yeah.
And you just start to really interface more with every different department. And
Mhm.
on a show like Criminal Minds, everyone is so good at what they do.
Mhm.
And everyone, there's like 200 people who work on the crew. Everyone is a huge part of the show, having lasted for as long as it has. So it's a real joy to kind of go and get to know a bunch of people who I don't usually interact with all the time because they're not on set. Um, but in answer to your question, yes.
That would be awesome fun to see, just because everybody, gets their own style and you kind of get to a deeper
Yeah,
look.
it's cool,
Of-
right? It's cool. It's
Oh
cool
yeah.
to see the different episodes that like AJ and Adam,
Mhm.
um, Joe directs. I think Joe directs an episode, the next episode. So it's everyone has their own style, like you said, and their own creativity that they bring to it. So
Always fun to see.
yeah.
So reflecting on Tyler's relationship with Garcia, there
Mhm.
was this pivot from like the longing feelings to a genuine friendship. How are they able to make that shift?
I think that something that this show does so well is that they have all that, they have the bad guys and we got to chase down the bad guys. And the move over to streaming has really allowed the writers to dive into the personal relationships between the characters in a really lovely way. And there's a little bit more time that we can take with that each episode. Um, so in my relationship with Garcia, we've been able to kind of have that slow burn. And, it was awkward there for a little bit in season 17 when I came back and was around. But every character has such a special relationship with the people around them. The team is such a powerful thing that I think now that I'm joining the team and training with the team, it allows for us to just create a new relationship.
Mhm.
And yeah, she's so great. Kirsten's
Oh,
amazing.
she's incredible.
Yeah, she is really cool. I always think like everyone in the world should meet Kirsten Bangsness at least once. Like she's such a unique person and such a
Oh
special team.
yeah,
Yeah.
sweetest. Kind of going now into like the plots of this season. So early on in the season, we see JJ go through a very massive loss. Though her closer friends on the team are trying to be there for her, how does everyone else navigate that loss while still focusing on the cases?
Yeah, I think that in times of loss, people need to step up and help that person. I think anyone who's been through loss understands that it just takes a lot out of you, and you just have to kind of tread water as you work your way through it. And I think AJ is a wonderful, wonderful actor, and JJ is a very strong character. And I think that the writers, knew both those things, and so they gave her such a thing to have to work through this season while still doing her job and while still being part of an effective member of this team. Um, so I think, it's this whole season, everyone is just needing to step up because it's
Mhm.
they're contending with so much. Voight is around and nobody's quite sure of his motives
Mhm.
in this. It's 6 months after he's been attacked in prison, and um, everyone is kind of contending with rehabilitation and of him and whether that's possible or whether that's acceptable or there's a lot going on with the team. And so like I said before, the writers adding in the personal elements with all this kind of professional chaos going on
Yeah.
is uh is smart on their part and just makes for good TV.
No, it works so well because I episode two specifically is so jam-packed with
Yeah.
so much plot, but
And
it
then at the
works
end they're
so
just
well.
like
I know. Boom.
when boom.
Just kidding. Here we go. Let's get
Yeah.
going. It's
Yeah.
insane,
Just
but the
wait till
best way.
episode 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 7
Oh
8.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I saw three. Oh
Oh, you saw 3?
yeah.
Yeah.
I got to
Good luck.
oh gosh. Devastating to the heart.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so this season, Tyler and Luke have been like an unexpected working duo. What has impressed you about working with Adam closer as a scene partner?
Adam's a great guy. Adam's a great guy. He's so committed to everything he does. He's yeah, it is kind of like a big brother relationship in a lot of ways, and it's just such a joy getting to do these scenes with him. It's really fun. We're both very like physical people, and so getting to run around all season and chase bad guys and really being like we're out in the field a lot,
Mhm.
paired up a lot. We're in the woods and like doing this kind of gritty stuff, which I love.
Mhm.
And just like as a character, he's great. Luke Alves is a great, great character, but
Mhm.
as a person, Adam is a wonderful guy, and just adds a unique element to this team as all the main characters do.
Oh, yeah. And kind of still going on the character route. So Prentice has become a mentor to Tyler. Why do you
Yeah,
think she is so set on looking out for him?
I'm lucky, huh? I have all these
I
people
know.
adding in their
It's
two cents.
like all the things.
The writers really, really put me in a great position this year because they gave me as we go throughout the season, he gets really strong advice, and I think you saw this in the trailer. Each character like really takes their time with Tyler and imparts what it takes, and I think that comes out of him struggling with a lot of stuff early in the season, and they're just trying to kind of hold him up and bolster him up because they've all been through it. There's
Yeah.
so much loss over the seasons for these characters and so much complexity um and so they know exactly what he's going through, and yeah, Paget's so cool. Have you interviewed her? Yes.
I did. And
Paget's
I've
so
met
cool
her.
too. Like
She's like the sweetest
yeah, I could just
person.
go
Yeah.
on and on and on. We have a group thread
Uh-huh.
uh, that is just like the most, it's like the sweetest environment. It's like, you know, lifting each other up and just words of kindness
Yeah.
almost daily. So it's, yeah, Paget's another one that
Yeah.
I could talk about all these people
I know.
individually.
It's just like I'm
It
just
is,
giving you
it
the
is,
floor to give everybody compliments.
yeah, and it's like, you know, that's how a season that's how a show goes, you know, 19 seasons. We're working on 19, like
Yeah.
we start next week on season 19. So it's I don't think that that happens without all these people being incredible and committed and coming to work every day, knowing their stuff and like
Yeah.
it's just it's so cool to walk on to a show like this
Mhm.
as a recurring and then you know now 3 years later, 3, 4 years later, like look back and just be like, man, how lucky am I?
Oh yeah. So kind of on the same topic, you work with a wonderful cast. There are so many incredible like group scenes, but of course the one-on-one moments. Is there someone you haven't gotten to do a lot of one-on-one work with that you would like to?
Hmm. I gotta say it's pretty spread out in season
Mhm.
18. I would have said before season 18, I was like, I haven't really worked with like Tyler and JJ haven't really done too much together, but there is actually quite a bit of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Season 18. There's quite a bit of stuff with Zach that's fun because of the history
Yeah.
between those two characters, you know?
Yeah.
Uh, and Joe and Paget. No, honestly, I think the
Oh,
writers are very skilled at like kind of
yeah.
just creating like all these different webs and all these different relationships between the characters. So I think yeah. Yeah.
Each season of evolution, there we go. We get there are major shifts. This season
Mm.
specifically, the storylines and writing are just so captivating. Was there a particular scene or episode that you feel most proud of the work you put into it?
You know, the scene that made the trailer between Paget and I,
Mm.
it's in episode 4, and that scene was a really it was like the end of the night, and it was the scene changed a bunch. It just kind of developed into this amazing thing, and I think we all kind of knew it. It was a real period of evolution for Tyler,
Mm.
and you know she's just looking you in the eye, like
Yeah.
giving it in that scene. So it's really I'm excited for people to see that scene because for me it was a really nice moment where me as an actor was like, wow, this is really an incredible thing that we're all getting to do, and it's
Mm.
you know it's like the middle of the night, we're in the studio, and it's really we're in the jet, and it's just like very quiet, personal. Everyone's listening. Like it's a wonderful moment. So I'm excited for people to see that.
Oh yeah, well, that'll be fun. Now I'm looking forward to episode 4 just for that.
Yeah, it's cool.
So like you mentioned, you guys are going to go back to filming season 19 soon. Is there
Mhm.
anything you do after a break to get back into Criminal Minds mode? Any little rituals or things you watch?
No, you know what's funny is we had a table read yesterday for
Oh,
the new episode for 1901, and it's just like, you know, you just go to the studio and
yeah.
uh, see everyone, and it's just like, you know, it's
Yeah.
it's it's the same. It's the exact same, and it's the same between the cast, and it's a really loving cast, but it's also the same between all the writers, you know, who you've known for years, and all the grips and all these people who you've been around and you know shared donuts with and like you know shared a coffee like it's a really cool environment just because everyone is so happy to be there,
Mhm.
everyone is so proud of the success of the show and everyone hopes that it goes on for you know many more years.
No, yeah. And I've got to ask, is there anything you can tease about season 19? Any little sprinkle, any crumb? Sink.
uh I mean I can tease the fact that at the end of the read through yesterday everyone turned to our showrunner Erica and we're like whoa just super excited to be there, but also just you know, the episode is like very, very strong and very, very powerful. Um, and now that we're in our 4th season as well of this new format, I really do think every season is getting better and better. I think we have a lot of momentum. So I think that everyone in the cast is on the same page and that
Oh yeah.
I just hope
I,
it keeps
I need
going.
like 20 more seasons. I just need
Yeah, you know what? I
going
agree with you.
forever.
And I think that, you know, there's so many fans worldwide too,
Mhm.
you know, on social media and stuff. You get these messages
Yeah.
from all over the place. And it's just such a strong brand and performs so well overseas that you got to think that
Oh yeah. It's got to keep going. We need just, yeah.
Yeah.
Ways. And kind of on that, what would you like to say to the fans and supporters of Criminal Minds who continue, to support the show and your work?
I would love to say thank you. You know, it's the fans are really the fans watching the show is what keeps it going, really, because they look at the numbers, they look at the streams, they look at all this stuff when they're considering whether the show will be renewed or not. So we are very, very thankful as a whole cast, and all the crew. You know, there's so many people in the crew. Like everyone is very, very grateful to the people who watch this show, and there's such a it's such a kind of a rabid fan base that we appreciate all the messages of encouragement and all the support online. And um, yeah, it's really quite powerful to create something and then have such a strong response to it from such great people. So thank you.
Oh, yeah. And then also, so with Tyler, what were you originally told about the character when you're first, finding out about you're getting on Criminal Minds, you're finding this character?
Yeah, it's interesting because not much. Things shift in TV a lot, right? Like they throughout a season, the writers are constantly, well, it depends, I suppose, but in this case, they created the character, certain things were supposed to happen, and then I don't know, everyone just got along really well, and they they shifted some things around, which kind of created a better ramp for me, which I deeply, deeply appreciate. And as we saw in the first episode, like I think back to my first day of filming on this show. I think it was an episode that Joe directed. I think he directed episode 3 of season 16 or season 1 of Evolution. Um, and we were in a park like downtown LA. And I was there, and Adam Rodriguez was there, and he like tackled the hell out of me. And I
Hmm.
was just like, this is cool. This is fun. And then, AJ was there. And I think to those moments, and then I compare that to going to work every day and being in the BAU roundtable room and breaking the case with them. And I'm like, man, this is amazing that the writers were able to to
Yeah,
bridge this gap so effectively.
yeah,
And it's really, really cool to see how the fans have kind of gotten on board with Tyler as a character because he was very polarizing in the beginning.
yeah.
So to have them so on board and so supportive means a lot for sure.
Mhm.
And it encourages me to
Oh, yeah.
go in here.
And like you're saying, because I remember early on, you don't love Tyler. You're like, what's his deal? What's going on?
Of course, yeah.
Season? I'm like, why is he my favorite now? Like, hold on, what's going
Well, I
on?
just think like over, like everyone loves these characters so much, right?
Mhm.
It's like how could you not love Penelope Garcia?
Yeah.
And then, anyone who messes with her is like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Hold on.
Hate that dude. Hate that dude.
First enemy. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so the writers, it was really nice how the writers were like, well, listen, he's having trouble and he's gonna have to kind of eat it and like he's gonna have to understand about himself that he's got these like limitations and
Yeah.
he's gonna have to accept help from her and the team and kind of grow up in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And so that has been really fun to, it's just it's like a very fraught atmosphere and those are the most fun ones to act.
Yeah.